Hello, and welcome to our webcast, What's New in WhatsUp Gold 2022.1. I'm Larry Goldman, Senior Manager of Product Marketing with WhatsUp Gold, and joining me today is Jason Alarino, Senior Product Manager and WhatsUp Gold Ninja. Hey, Jason, thanks for joining us.
Oh, Larry, glad to be here. Excited to talk about 22.1.
Excellent. You're the expert, and I'm excited to have you here. So let's get on to it. As of October 12th, 2022, we released WhatsUp Gold 22.1. If you recall, back in March, we released 22.0. This is our next version. We're usually on about a half a year development cycle. And what we like to say about 22.1 is it means your job just got easier. That's right. And the reason we say that is because this version has more out of the box functionality, which we know everybody loves. And we've also done quite a few upgrades and enhancements in larger and smaller ways, and we're going to be covering those today. Really, I think the take home on this as you're listening is just how much built-in discovery and monitoring power WhatsUp Gold now has. It already had a lot, but certainly from day one, from the get-go, when you install this, you're going to have a lot more that you can do with a lot less effort. So you're monitoring what matters more quickly. All right, so what are the top features? Well, first of all, out-of-the-box hardware status monitoring. We'll be talking about this a bit. This is very exciting. It's something we've been considering for a while, and this is a big announcement for us. And I know that Jason will talk a lot about this. It's equally or more so excited than I am. We also support the UCD-SNMP-MIB now for discovering and monitoring, in addition to what we've already had, and we'll talk about that. We now have shareable device roles. This is an exciting new way to import and export device roles. And finally, a lot of little things with a focus, as we usually do, on security, on the ease of use that WhatsUp Gold is known for, and on the integrability that we have with other products. So those are our main areas that we're going to be talking about today. All right, our first new functionality is the immediate hardware monitoring, that out-of-the-box hardware monitoring servers, but also other things. It means that it's now available right away. Instead of having to create a lot of custom monitors that take a long time, really, you're going to have this as a tool to use as soon as you install version 22.1. We've switched over to a new standard, the Redfish-based monitoring. And the important thing to note about that is that many of the systems manufacturers, device manufacturers, are using this standard. And this is the go-forward standard for detection. So we are supporting that. It means that you can look at all different kinds of health status, whether it's fans, power supplies, temperature sensors, all of these things you'll be able to look at without having to do a lot of customized work to get there. I think that this is going to be a tremendous time-saving piece. And it also, when you combine this with our device-based pricing, it also means, I think, a very cost-effective way to do this. So because we don't charge per sensor, you can monitor so much more without the shock of added increase in pricing. It's something that is very convenient to the way that we license our software. Jason, what do you want to add to this?
Just Redfish-based monitoring it's a game changer for us. We went from doing nothing out of the box for this to covering thousands of different systems because of our approach with using standards, and we continue to see additional vendors hop onto this, and we will over the next coming years. And this is huge from the WhatsUp Gold administrator perspective because, like you said, it required creation of custom monitors, which can be very time consuming and dynamic on a per system basis. Now it's so simple and easy to use. You add your credentials, you discover the device, and you start it, and we automatically look at every single hardware component of that system for you. It's really that easy.
Nice. And what are we looking at here then?
So this is device properties dialog for Redfish-based device. We pick it up as BMC, Baseboard Management Controller. And within device properties, we're just looking at some of the monitors that get added directly out of the box. So disk health for me is the big one. Being able to see the individual status of each disk in a RAID array it's important. You want to know if a disk fails or needs to be replaced, etc. So now you don't have to go searching for that information. WhatsUp Gold can alert you to that information if you have any sort of issues with your hardware.
Yeah, and we're talking thousands of new devices that we can detect and discover.
Yeah, quite literally. We've already tested with Dell, HP, Cisco, and some other customers have on the customer validation program helped us test some others pre-release. So thank you to those customers. Also, a side note, please join customer validation program. We have a lot of pre-release information out there for you.
Yeah, we'd love you to join it.
Our next feature we want to discuss is the enhanced discovery using the UC-Davis-MIB. It allows you to monitor more of what matters directly out of the box, as you see in the slide here, but it's so much more than that. We were originally looking at this feature from the Loadmaster perspective. We wanted to bring in CPU, disk, and memory information from Loadmaster. We had worked on Linux memory utilization feature based on customer request, and we decided to extend the usage of the UC-Davis-MIB to the rest of CPU and disk. Once we're able to collect that information through discovery, there's many benefits, not just Loadmaster, but other systems populate those counters as well. And WhatsUp Gold now detects them automatically and can monitor them directly out of the box. So really, once again, going back to the ease of use, you discover your add credentials for SNMP, discover your device, and start monitoring. Automatically, we'll see that CPU, memory, and disk information for any system that supports the UC-Davis-MIB. So here we have a screenshot of a Loadmaster device and WhatsUp Gold, and you'll note that the CPU, disk, and memory utilization monitors are added to the device. As I said earlier, well, this doesn't just enable us to get more information from Loadmaster, but many other systems. Pretty much every Linux or Unix system will populate this type of data. For example, my home network uses Ubiquiti devices, and I found that with WhatsUp Gold 22.1, I'm now able to gather CPU, memory, and disk information from those devices. So there's many added bonuses to supporting standards, and one of them is we gain the ability to have much more out-of-the-box functionality.
Our third exceptional feature is the shareable device roles. So now with version 22.1, you have the ability to export device roles and sub roles to share with other users. So what does this mean? This means that all the work that you do to define the device roles, you'll be able to export that and to share it with a community. And the positive side of this as well is that the community will be doing the same, and that you can import their device roles as well, saving you a tremendous amount of time in discovering and monitoring new systems. So we have a new device role repository in our community we've set up. It looks like this, and you can go to it with access to the Progress community. If you're a WhatsUp Gold customer, you can go in and there will be lists of roles that you can import into your own version, saving you time, saving you a lot of manual work. And what we hope, again, is that as people do this, we build a larger and larger repository. I should say that there's always incentive for being involved in the community. We have a point system, and there's some great things that you can earn, and we really are trying to encourage our customers to use this feature because it really does build the WhatsUp community, and it also allows for everyone to gain in the work that everyone else is doing. It's something we've talked about for a while. I know you're very excited about this one, Jason.
I can't contain my excitement for this, Larry. Really, the main piece to this one for me is it also exports monitors, including custom ones. So we know a lot of our customers spend a lot of time creating custom monitors, assigning them to devices, and there's no way to share that across their different WhatsUp Gold systems. Well, now we introduce this. Not only do they get to share those things across their systems, they can share their knowledge with the community, and we can all work together to build WhatsUp Gold into supporting more and more devices. WhatsUp Gold's always had the capability of monitoring these devices. It's just manual customization is the problem. And some people have the time to put into that and love to share their knowledge. I am one of those people. I came from the community. For those not familiar, we used to have a wugspace.com community, which I was an avid member of, and actually Ipswich recruited me from. And I'm so happy for that experience, because just looking back at that experience, I wonder, well, can I recreate that for somebody else as well?
Yeah. And that's so important. This is not necessarily what we would call an out-of-box feature, but it comes right with 22.1. And when you combine it with the other two features that we've just spoken about, the speed to which you can update your discovery and update your system, I think it's just going to be stunning for people. I think people are going to absolutely love these new features.
Right, and to add on to that, we know customers have requested support for specific devices where technically WhatsUp Gold supports any device with an IP address. We just need to build in that discovery intelligence to how to identify that device. And that's where these roles really come into play, is identifying those devices that may not be getting assigned a role currently. And I'm excited to see what the community can do with this feature, really, because like I said, it can export monitors as well. So there's a lot of flexibility with it, and I think everyone is going to benefit from it.
I completely agree. And there is so much more that we have out in 22.1. Jason, there's a lot here. You and I talked about this. I don't know that we have to go into that much detail, but we did want to kind of lay it out for you attendees to just see the number of areas that we cover. You know, these are things that we're always looking at. There really are core values for how we decide to choose what to upgrade in and what to work on for WhatsUp Gold. The idea of proactive monitoring to give you better insights, ease of use, which we've already talked about in a number of ways, the integrability using the REST API, how do we make it work better with other products, and certainly always on our mind is security. So maybe Jason, you want to dip into a few of these?
Yeah, well, some of these are par for the course, as people would expect. You can now discover the latest Windows operating systems. One I am excited about in that list is the SNMP-MIB Walker tool. We completely rebuilt it and made it easier to use, as well as easier to create custom monitors with. In combination with that shareable device rules feature, I'm really excited. In addition to that, you'll see on the security list there that we made improvements to the web user activity log. Those are customer requested improvements in terms of knowing which device got which monitors assigned, who changed what, etc. There's now much more details around interactions within WhatsUp Gold that are human readable. The information was always there, it was just using IDs before. So pretty excited about that one too. OAuth 2 authentication for emails, I'll call it as well. This wasn't a priority for us until just a few months ago, actually, and that's when Microsoft said, "No, we're closing the floodgates. You cannot use basic authentication for SMTP with Exchange Online." So we scrambled to make sure we had a solution for our customers who are using Exchange Online or Google Workspace, for example. Both of those are moving towards deprecating basic authentication for SMTP, and that's how WhatsUp Gold delivers emails to your inbox tell you there's an issue. Well, this OAuth 2 authentication is the most secure authentication method available for SMTP, so I'm very excited we can offer it to customers now. Also on this list, you see an install and upgrade notification for .NET Framework updates. So although seemingly small, we want it very clear and help the customer apply security updates. WhatsUp Gold requires .NET Framework, which is not a Progress product. It's a Microsoft product. But once it's installed, it's up to the customer to make sure that stays up to date with security patches. Our installer now, when you upgrade, will flag and say, "Hey, you don't have automatic Windows updates enabled. We recommend that you do." So we're trying to help everyone be more secure with the product. Excuse me.
I love that. It's really just another small way in which we're helping everybody to run as secure as they can.
Exactly. And then you see we have a couple I won't talk to you too much, the log management load, just being able to get notified if your system is not keeping up with what you're expecting of it. So if you add too many systems to collect log data and your Elasticsearch database can't keep up, we'll actually warn you directly in the interface now. The REST API front, we added a new endpoint for managing device groups that includes creation, reading, updating, or deleting. And then on the ease of use, I'm not going to run through all of them, but a vast majority of these are customer requested enhancements. People really want these things, and we worked on them just as they asked.
And Jason, if people want to recommend some enhancements for us to make, where would they go?
The WhatsUp Gold ideation portal, which is whatsupgold.ideas.aha.io, and we'll provide a link at the end of the webinar here.
Excellent. So here we've gone over the top 3 features plus a lot of those other features that Jason just spoke about. I do think it's worth mentioning at this point, there are so many popular features and solutions for monitoring that come with WhatsUp Gold. You know, the fact that it installs so quickly, the fact that you now have the ability to monitor via all the standard industry protocols, and the enhancements that we've made in discovery now are tremendously important. Everyone loves the mapping topology. The interface is great. Our licensing, our API, and the reporting and the alerting that you use on an everyday basis. These are all very important features. And now people, of course, with 22.0 are beginning to build in the Flowmon integration, which allows you to see Flowmon data in the dashboards. So many different monitoring solutions that we allow beyond the automated mapping and discovery, whether it's cloud, wireless, whether it's virtual infrastructure or application performance. All of these things, and including, you can see there now, the new hardware status monitoring, all of these are important. All of them are just great ways to expand your monitoring within WhatsUp Gold. And that includes our network traffic analysis, our NTA.
Yeah, and I'll add on there that just WhatsUp Gold itself comes in multiple different editions. One of those editions, Total Plus, includes all of these add-ons, and the Premium edition can include any of the add-ons charged separately. But these add-ons really empower you to get much more information and get much more depth in your monitoring. I specifically want to call out a few. The configuration management allows you to back up your configurations as well as get notified if there's any changes in those configurations. The log management is a relatively new add-on. We added beginning of 2021, and it allows you to collect log data from Windows systems and syslog data. And the network traffic analysis is probably one of our most popular because WhatsUp Gold tells you how much bandwidth is used, which is great. But network traffic analysis tells you what is using that bandwidth, which is, taking it to the next level. If you get the question, why is the network slow? NTA empowers you to go and identify exactly why it's slow.
Yeah, all of these are great. We have quite a lot of information on these on our whatsupgold.com website. There are even podcasts, there's videos, there's white papers, there's overviews, and data sheets on all of these different add-ons that Jason just spoke to. So it's very easy to learn more about these different solutions that we have. I do want to point out here at the end that we also have just launched a new free on-demand basic training course. We estimate it takes about 8 hours. That's just an estimate, but it really covers the basics for network admins that want to learn about WhatsUp Gold. This is on demand. We still offer live training, that's just paid, but this is on demand. And perhaps if you want to get a refresher on this, or maybe you are looking to eventually achieve WhatsUp Gold certification, this is a great reason to start. You can also let your colleagues know about this. If somebody's interested in learning about WhatsUp Gold, this is a great way to dig in and begin to learn about this tool that you've invested in for your network and IT infrastructure monitoring. So that is another great asset available to our customers. So I'd just like to finish up on how you can learn more. Certainly, we've updated the What's New page on the whatsupgold.com website, as well as the frequently asked questions page. There are the 2022.1 release notes, which have a lot more detail than we've counted today. You can download a free trial, certainly, and look at these features yourself. Or if you're a customer, you can contact your account manager. Certainly, you can visit the community and go through your regular download. You most likely have received an email from us that has links in it, but we're always glad to help. Jason, anything to add?
No, nothing here, Larry. I guess we get on to questions now.
And we do have quite a few questions. This is great. We kind of got a mix here of questions around 22.1, but also some other questions just about WhatsUp Gold in general. People taking advantage of having the expertise here. So I think what I'm going to try and do is let's see if I can't bundle a few of the 22.1 questions first, and then we'll kind of open it up so we're not too scattered here. So the first question really comes from Susan, who asked about the shareable device roles. Where are those located? And if you remember from the slide, we have on the WhatsUp Gold community website, we have an area that you can find. If you do a search on device roles, code share area, it'll come right up, but certainly you can follow through to the topics and just go under device roles. And this code share area, we've already had some people upload a few examples. So if you want to, when you install 22.1, if you want to try some of the import function or do your own export function and see what you get, it's a great place to go. I also want to note, just on that point, on the community website, that Jason has posted a thank you email. And I think if you remember the slide with and so much more, Jason has a thank you out and notes all of the different enhancement requests that came through that we actually worked on for this. And it's quite a long list. So just trying to bring home the point again that if there's something you want to see in WhatsUp Gold, let us know. Go to the site, enter it in, and it's not it's not a lottery. We really do look at these things individually and assess them as we decide what's going to come out in the next version. So yeah, just something I noticed this morning. I wanted to bring it up. Here's a question. Let's see. Here's a question from Mike, and I think I'll just answer this one directly myself again, Jason. Are other Progress products going to be integrated into WhatsUp Gold? And I think maybe what Mike is referring back to is in 22.0, which came out in March, we integrated Flowmon, our Flowmon network traffic performance analysis tool. It's also a network response and discovery or detection tool. We integrated that in through the dashboards. So you can, in several ways, you can look at Flowmon data inside of WhatsUp Gold. It gives you that single pane to look at for both products. We haven't done anything like that for any other products. Again, if you have something in mind you're thinking about, please go and suggest it. One integration we have kind of in a different way is with LoadMaster, our load balancing product. Kemp LoadMaster, we actually have templates that we offer for free that allow you to very quickly be able to load balance different products. You can find a WhatsUp Gold template there. And that's been added fairly recently, but there's a lot of good information on that. So if you are a Kemp LoadMaster customer and you want to use it more quickly with WhatsUp Gold, that is there. But other than that, I would say no, Mike. Another question: has support for Cisco Firepower been added to 22.1? Jason?
So quick answer there is no, not directly, but I would say yes, indirectly. That shareable device rules feature I was talking about earlier is, well, we can go create support for this device pretty simply and export it out to the community to share with others. During the call here, I did some quick research and found that Cisco Firepower does support SNMP, so we should be able to create discovery rules and tell it what to monitor and then share that out in the community. In the future, if you're ever wondering about support for specific devices, please keep in mind our ideation portal exists for that purpose as well. That will give us some indication as to which devices are more important to add support for.
Exactly. Here's a question from Kevin. How can we verify if a device supports Redfish?
It's actually pretty simple. There is a specific endpoint that responds, and WhatsUp Gold actually does that work for you most of the time. So, and I say that because in order to add your credential, you're going to need to access your device, so to speak. So the device would be your baseboard management controller, your iDRAC, your ILO, etc. And you would log in there to see if the Redfish support was enabled. I believe most of the vendors are enabling them directly out of the box. So you simply just use that same username and password you use to log into that interface and add that as a credential in WhatsUp Gold. You then just use that credential and scan your devices as you normally would, and we'll pick up the device as BMC. And when you hit start monitoring, all of those monitors are applied automatically. So in general, you're going to want to refer to the vendor's documentation is what it comes down to. Redfish is a standard that dozens of vendors support, and really we've only tested a handful of them, but all of them will work since it is a standard. And that's one of the great parts about sticking with standards is now we support all devices, not specific devices like we were just asked about the Cisco Firepower, for example.
Yeah, I think you've just answered Ramsey's question, which is, does a rescan for a physical server like HP add the new hardware monitors?
Yes. So sort of indirectly answered that, but the answer is yes and no. It depends on how you set up the monitoring. So within WhatsUp Gold before 22.1, we didn't actually pick up BMC interfaces whatsoever and associate them to the device. And that still is the case. So when you discover these BMC devices, they are picked up as separate devices within WhatsUp Gold's interface. We actually vetted this through our customer validation program. And it was actually the choice to have it be treated as a separate device, completely separate from the system. So now you can look at kind of the hardware aspect versus the operating system aspect when it comes to the server monitoring.
All right. Here's a question from Randolph. Does 22.1 support older Windows OS, i.e. Server 2008?
For discovery, yes. For installation, no. So our product compatibility guide actually covers which operating systems we support. I did put, I guess I didn't put a link. I'll put a link in the chat. But really, the product compatibility guide is where you should go for anything WhatsUp Gold installation related. It's going to tell you what operating systems we support, what hardware to have behind there, etc. I'll put a link in chat there.
Yeah, on the same note, a couple people have asked for a link for the free training and also to verify, is this really free training? Yes, I stand by what I said. The expression, there's no such thing as a free lunch. I think actually this is a free lunch for everybody. Our education team is working hard. They're actually working on a very good intermediate level course that should be coming out fairly soon. And they've also, so they redid this beginner's course, and the decision was made to make this free. So if you want to get to this, it's just as easy to go to whatsupgold.com/training. We have a training page there, or you can get to it through the navigation on the whatsupgold.com website. And there is a link right there. So just think about training. There's a link there. It talks about the other forms of training as well, the live training, the paid training, and also but you will find the link there. And I believe we've also announced it out in the community as well. So you can probably find an announcement there. So very exciting to have that out there. We want to help you and help your people to learn this product as well as possible. So yes, I hope that's helpful. If not, let us know and we can certainly redirect you there. But that should be enough to get you going. Let's see. Patrick wants to know, hi guys, can we upgrade from 21.1 directly to 22.1?
Yes, you can. So you can directly upgrade from any version that's 18 or higher. So as long as you're on 18 or higher already, it's a direct upgrade.
All right. I'm looking specifically for 21.1 questions, but there's a lot of other ones. Here's a good example. Jeffrey wants to know, does WhatsUp Gold run on Linux?
The answer is no. We install on Windows. You can monitor Linux devices, no problem, but the installation all requires server 2016, server 2019, or server 2022 operating system.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're definitely Windows. Bill's got an interesting question back to Redfish. If the Redfish discovery sees the hardware as a different device than the OS, how does the license work? Do we need to have double the device count? This gets to our how we do our licensing.
Yes, so it certainly does count as a separate device. And in terms of if you have to double your license, it depends on how much you're licensed for already and what aspects you're monitoring, etc. Going back to the licensing aspect, I mentioned this earlier. We actually asked this through our customer validation program what would be preferred, and more people preferred having it be a separate device. And that's what we chose to go with, is the majority of our customers' opinion. That being said, when you add these devices, there's potentially 50 plus different monitors that get added to them. So we're really adding a lot of value with that one device license. It's not just, pinging the device, for example. It's literally looking at every aspect of the hardware from top to bottom. So in terms of licensing, I know that there will be some frustrated that it will consume an additional license, and we hear you, but we feel we've added a lot of value here, and it's worth that additional license.
Great. Another one on 22.1. Hi, Jason. This is from Alejandro. Can you please confirm if to be able to monitor ILO interfaces, no additional license is required?
That's basically the same question we just got, just
Yeah.
for a different vendor. And the answer is yes, it certainly requires an additional license to take advantage of this new feature.
Okay. Any plans to, this is from Brian, any plans to adding native support for Nutanix AHV into the virtual monitoring up module?
So we don't talk about future plans. However, if you go out to the ideation portal and search for that, I'm sure you will find something you can vote on. As Larry was saying earlier, we put a lot of time and effort into tending that ideation portal. So your comments, votes, everything is heard, and we really appreciate all the help and feedback we get through there.
Great. Armin wrote an interesting question. I'm not sure how to interpret this. He says, what's new in the out-of-the-box server hardware status? I think, Armin, what we're saying is the server hardware status itself, this functionality, being out of the box, being right there when you install 22.1 versus you're having to do customized searching and setting up of server hardware. That's really what we're talking about, that it's out there for you to use immediately rather than a much more intensive manual effort that you've made in the past for hardware. Jason, would you add to that anything?
Yeah, sure. Really, it comes down to we didn't do this out of the box before. Now we do. The only thing to really add is as long as you have some major server hardware vendor, you're going to be able to take advantage of this new feature. Like I said earlier, though, you will need to refer to the vendor's documentation to make sure you have it configured properly for WhatsUp Gold to discover. Once you have that configured, you just add that credential to your credential library with WhatsUp Gold. It's called the Redfish credential, and that's it. It's pretty simple and straightforward. In our testing, a lot of our customers were able to do this quickly and easily without any additional guidance.
I think you're going to give the same answer to this one as you may have already. But Michael wants to know, are there plans to support monitoring TLS 1.3?
Yeah, and you're right, Larry. I'm going to give the same answer there. We don't talk about future plans, but you can go out to the ideation portal and vote there. As a side note, you can get more information about pre-release activities on our customer validation program. I've mentioned that a few times already. I'll put a link into the chat here. That kind of explains how to get signed up and to join. And then we could talk about a lot more pre-release stuff versus these public webinars.
Yeah, and that link should answer James's question as well. He had asked about that. All right, what else do we have? There's a lot of kind of general questions about WhatsUp Gold. I think I'm going to switch over to some of those. Is there support for Open VMS?
It depends on what that question is actually asking, but I would say you can monitor anything with WhatsUp Gold, right? So as long as you're talking about just discovering a virtual machine and monitoring it, as long as it has an IP address, we're going to be able to monitor it and use any data that is made available from it. So whether it be through SNMP, WMI, or some other protocol, in general, I would say yes, but if the question is directed specifically at the virtual monitoring add-on, the current answer is no, and go to the ideation portal and submit your votes.
Okay. Here's looking for some advice. Wilson asks, for Windows servers, is it better to use WMI or SNMP for monitoring?
I love this question. The only reason I love this question is because I used to be on one side and now I'm on the other side. So back in the day when I was first setting up WhatsUp Gold, WMI was just starting to get used by Microsoft, and SNMP was the protocol to go with, and it was much more stable, and like it was no question you would use SNMP many years ago. I would say since Server 2012 onward, it's better to use WMI. And the reason being is, well, they deprecated support for SNMP in Server 2012. So if your OS is Server 2012 or above, you certainly should be using WMI for discovery and monitoring.
Great. Nick wants to know, in terms of discovery, how many layers deep can you discover devices?
I'm not sure I understand the context of the question, but yeah, you really can discover anything with an IP address, and there are ways to set up your discovery to kind of interrogate and go additional hops as well. So it sounds like they're talking about scan depth in terms of how many hops to go out, but you have the flexibility in WhatsUp Gold to do that. For example, you can specify just one switch and say go out one hop, and that's only going to pull back the information about the devices connected to it directly. You could, for example, increase that to 2, and then it's going to show you the devices connected to those ones, etc. So you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to how much or what specifically to discover.
Yeah, I think that probably gets to the heart of it. Nick, if that didn't answer it, maybe you can get a little deeper yourself on what you want to know. Donnie wants to know, is the configuration management for endpoint devices or only the WUG server?
Oh, it is meant for your endpoint devices. Yes.
Exactly.
I don't think it's meant for the WhatsUp Gold server at all. So really the config management portion lets you back up your network configuration, your switch configuration, your firewall configuration, your router configuration, back it up, and also compare it for changes. So every time it does a backup, it will compare it to the previous backup it has. And if there's any changes, you can configure it to notify you. Not only that, but it's highly customizable. So you can also add your own scripts and do your own things and make your own comparisons. I had a use case a while back where someone just wanted to compare their access control lists. So they made a script, show their access control lists, and then they're able to compare it between devices very easily. So it's very flexible and can be extended to many things, but the main out-of-the-box use case is for router, switch, firewall, network configurations.
Excellent. Here's an interesting one. I think it kind of comes back to what we were saying earlier about the templates for LoadMaster. For those of us running a virtual LoadMaster, that's the Kemp LoadMaster product from Progress, and monitor the virtual performance metrics, does it make sense to use the UCD-MIB or keep monitoring via the virtual system path instead?
I'm not sure exactly what they're referring to there, but in terms of what WhatsUp Gold picks up directly out of the box, it would definitely be SNMP and the UC Davis MIB. If you've already customized it to look at a different area to collect the same information, you don't have to redo it. But the advantage of using the out-of-the-box stuff is it aggregates that data together with other devices, CPU, disk, memory, etc. Makes your top 10 reports a little bit more effective.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, yeah, it sounds like he's already probably monitoring it, but I like your suggestion. Michael's wondering, so I think with the new features, will WUG support advanced monitoring for storage systems like HPE and Nimble for things other than hardware, or for things such as hardware alerts?
The short answer is no, but the longer answer is we're considering something. And I say this because, well, remember, we just added the redfish monitoring. That's a standard. We love sticking with standards. There is another standard being worked on called swordfish, which is specific for storage devices. It's not seen much adoption yet, but something we are keeping an eye on.
Okay. Tracy wants to know, is Trap available in this version?
I'm not sure I understand that, but I'm guessing that means SNMP trap, and well, SNMP traps have always been available in WhatsUp Gold for almost as long as I could remember. However, you have to go turn on the trap listener. It is off by default. So in your system settings and passive monitor listeners, you can just check the box to turn on and save it.
Exactly. Here's another question from Armin. I think he just wants to fully understand the server hardware discovery. He says, are you able to integrate every info that is sent from HPE ILOS, like CMOS, battery status, warranty, and so on?
In terms of status, yes. In terms of warranty, no. So we do grab some additional information from Redfish and store it with the device in the inventory section. So if you're in device properties and then hit inventory, you'll see we do gather as much data as we can relative to the hardware within the system. Those same details are available in a full page report if you go to Analyze Inventory and Asset Details. But in terms of what specific hardwares, it's almost everything that the device populates. So it's not absolutely everything. There were a couple things we left out on purpose. And once again, those are things we validated with customers on the customer validation program.
Okay. Jeff wants to know, if I migrate our WUG server to another data center, will I have licensing issues when the IP address changes?
The answer is no, so long as you deactivate your license. So WhatsUp Gold licenses can only be activated on one system at a time. You have a couple options for deactivating. One is right from the server, manage WhatsUp Gold license. You're able to deactivate right from there. If you don't have access to the server, you're able to log into community.progress.com, go to My Products, and pull up the license and deactivate from there as well.
Okay. Oh, here's a question, another question from Armin. He wanted to know, can you show an example or a presentation of the new out-of-the-box server hardware status? So I think he wants to see a demo of what does that look like. Is that something we have a live, like a demo, recorded demo video on the website that he could look at, or is that something maybe he'd want to just set up some time with somebody who could walk him through it?
Yeah,
What do
I'd
you think
highly
is the best
suggest just
way?
setting it up within your own environment. I'm not sure we have any public-facing resources about this yet, but we certainly have some screenshots in the release notes that show more of the monitors. The help documentation as well has been extended to cover, how to add your Redfish credential and all the nuances that comes along with Redfish.
Okay. Boy, the questions keep coming. Really appreciate this. Let's see. There's a few here from Mosin. Does it monitor snapshots of virtual machines in HCI environment? And also, can it send out monthly reports with details about devices?
So in terms of monitoring snapshots, the answer is no, not directly out of the box, but yes with customization. I used to work at professional services, and I know we've done things along those lines in the past. So once you customize it, yes, of course it can do it. But remember, WhatsUp Gold supports so many different types of monitors, and a lot of the value in WhatsUp Gold comes from adding those custom monitors, because remember, we license by device. Each monitor you add to any device is directly adding value to your environment. The other part of that question was, can it send out monthly reports with details about devices? And the answer is yes, it absolutely can. You can schedule those. You can export them directly. There's a lot of different things you can do with the reports in WhatsUp Gold.
Okay. I'm seeing a couple questions here that are really pretty technical, and I'm not sure we want to go in that direction. Here is one. Maybe you can answer this one. From Armin. He says agent is not working anymore for server 2012 R2?
I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's in relation to log management agent, and that would be news to me. However, if you ever encounter problems like that, the best course of action is to get a technical support case open as soon as possible. If there is a problem within the product, we won't know it unless you open a technical support case first. So please make sure any sort of issues you're seeing, you're opening a technical support case.
Definitely. It definitely sounds like a support issue. At this point, I think that we have really answered most of the questions that are here that we can at this time. I want to thank you, Jason, for about a half an hour of questions. This was great. I want to thank everyone for attending and for all of your questions. Remember that there are a lot more answers on the WhatsUp Gold community, the knowledge base, and the whatsupgold.com site with the What's New section and release notes. So please take a look at those. And if you have support issues, reach out to support. If you have questions about licensing, please reach out to your account manager. We are always glad to help you. So with that, I'm going to say thank you again to Jason. Great to have you here, have your wisdom on hand. And thanks to our audience. That ends our webinar. Have a great day.
Take care, everyone. Enjoy 22.1.
Yeah.